Yo. What's up, guys? Sorry, a bit of a late start this morning. I had a rough night last night, man. Had a headache all night. So it was tough getting around and getting going this morning. I do apologize. Took a little bit of medicine this morning. I'm feeling a little bit better, but it was a rough night of sleep. So I do apologize. A little bit late going this morning. Just real sluggish, dude. But we're here. Better late than not at all, I guess. You know what I mean? It's good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. It's Friday, baby. It's Friday. Yeah, no, thanks, Fred. I appreciate it. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I woke up in the middle of the night and I had a pretty rough headache, dude, and I just couldn't shake it, man. I couldn't shake it last night. So going back to sleep and getting like restful sleep was pretty brutal, and it's starting to lessen up on me a little bit this morning finally. But yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. It's good to see you, buddy. Hope everybody's having a good day, man. We are going to do the news, and then we will jump into day one of Shredder's Revenge, dude. We're going to play some TMNT today. That should be some fun times. Sorry about no gaming content yesterday, but, dude, it was so... Dude, I worked until, like, almost 9 o'clock last night. Almost 9 o'clock last night I worked on catching up on content, and I'm almost there. I'm almost finished getting all of the content out of the all the old VODs and everything, and so it'll be nice to be caught up on that. I can be stay current moving forward and be focused on actual like content that we want to see improved for the community instead of just like content that I need to be putting on the channel for past highlights and stuff like that. So. The holidays got me way behind, and it's just been hard trying to play catch-up, so I really needed yesterday. I really appreciate everybody understanding. Knockout City shutting down, huh? There we go. There's some news already. Thanks, Wick. Cool, man. Thanks, brother. How are you, buddy? So we'll touch on that. Thanks, man. And, dude, I actually put some new clips in the Discord. Just some rando clips that I thought, yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of what's happening. We're starting to see that's a trend, right? Same thing. Knockout City, Rumbleverse. I think companies are starting to see that it's not worth the investment. If you don't see that initial big hit, they're like, it's not worth it. Shut it down. If it doesn't catch on the way that they'd hope, shut it down. It's not worth it. That's just the way it looks like they're going to be going with these titles moving forward. So, yeah, and there's a lot of the community, like our friendos on Twitch that play Knockout City. I know Cash has held tournaments for it, things like that, and we'll talk. We'll read about it. We'll talk about it. Yeah. So, man, I hope everybody's ready for the weekend. It's here. So excited. This is what we grind for, right? This is what we grind for, baby. So let's kick it off right. Let's go ahead and jump in here and get into the video gaming news before we hit our TMNT Shredder's Revenge Day 1 playthrough. Okay? Downfall of free-to-play games? I don't think so. I think it's going to thin out the herd. I don't think it's the downfall of free-to-play. I think it thins out the herd and is going to show that free-to-play needs to be done well. It needs to be a well-done game. It needs to be fairly unique. It needs to be catchy, and it needs to be something that is going to really be able to maintain a player base. As opposed to just polluting the gaming segment, the market with free-to-play games. It doesn't. It's just. I think there's been this idea that you can just make a free-to-play game and it'll work. and that's not the case, right? And maybe that's what you mean, Wick. But there are a lot of games that are still doing a good job with free-to-play mechanic. But I think people are starting to see that, like, and developers are starting to see that the free-to-play thing is not necessarily just a win-win kind of thing. Like, you can't just develop anything you want, make it free-to-play, and it's going to just automatically be a win scenario. You know? So we can talk more about it once we hit that article, okay? Let's get in here. So you guys know, as if you didn't already, most of you anyways, we're listening to BPM this morning, bullets per minute. First person shooting, roguelite, rhythm-based game. Very cool, very good stuff, and highly recommend. And the soundtrack's super dope. Go check it out. Go check it out. Alright. Let's get in here. The day before looks like The Division meets The Last of Us in new gameplay video. Yo, Wick, did you see the clip that I sent you on Discord last night? My little troll lord. But did you see the clip though? Did you see the clip above it? Like, I put a GIF in there after it on purpose. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the one that had the GIF, yeah, the dragon GIF after it. I sent you a clip, and then I put the GIF in after it, dude. Oh, okay. Okay. Busy night last night? Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. I clipped that out of my news segment. I'm gonna put this up on YouTube. My opinion is not gonna be probably a well loved opinion, but I don't really care. That's how I feel about it. And this is an inclusive place. I think that the world just needs to let people live their best life. Quit, pushing each other's views on one another. Just try to let people be who they are and worry about being, you live your best life. Let other people live their best lives. And that's all there really should be about it. Love everybody for their uniqueness, and I go into depth about this in yesterday's news segment. I do have a clip for it. It is on the Twitch channel. It's not public on YouTube yet, but it should be by the end of today. Yeah. I think it's great what they're doing. I think that the more that video games, which are something that people use and have always used as a way to escape normal life and immerse themselves in a role-playing kind of environment, more options they have that can fit everybody's personality and lifestyle, and that gives people the option of being who they want to be in a game. Cool. Doesn't mean you have to be everything there is to be in a game, but the more options that are there, the more it will appeal to every person that wants to play that game and who they want to be. So why not? Yeah, we talked about this yesterday too. Ubisoft broke the Steam Deck and what was it? The oh god, I haven't, dude. It's a rough morning for me. The flipping the Linux stuff too. Yeah, broke Steam Deck and Linux. We talked about it yesterday. So go take a look at yesterday's news segment. Highlight here on the Twitch channel and a VOD on YouTube. Okay. Talked about that yesterday as well. We've already hit on this also. LG's latest tech could fix the biggest problem with gaming. What? Let's see what this is. This could just be promotional, but it is, I don't know. It's out of PC Gamer. Let's see what they're saying. I got Childish Gambino stuck in my head, dude. I'm just bobbing. It's just playing in my head, dude. Like I've got speakers in my head. God dang. Oh, this is going to be the same thing. Two free to play Xbox games are closing down for good. Yeah. This is going to be right there with Knockout City. So let's take a look at that after the Knockout City that Wick gave us. Back for Blood's no longer going to get new updates or content. They're not supporting this game moving forward with new content. Okay. New Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe trailer showcase. Okay, here's what's funny. Sony says that 30% of active PS5 users never owned a PS4. How many PS4 owners don't own a PS5? What percentage of PS4 owners don't own a PS5? Let's see the other side of that, Sony. All right. Let's see the other side. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It's probably not as big of a number as 30%. But this is what cracks me up about businesses. They want to push out numbers like this to make themselves look good, but nobody wants to think about the other side of those numbers, right? It's the same thing as like whenever Xbox came out with the Microsoft and Xbox came out with this big list of like pros, right? The big list of pros, the benefits that they pushed out to the public about them buying Activision Blizzard. And look, I'm a proponent of them buying Activision Blizzard. I think it's for the better of the industry. I really do. Everything that I know about that situation, everything that I've read and educated myself on, I think it's for the better. Are there going to be negatives? Absolutely. And that's what I'm getting at here. It's funny because they pushed out this entire list of pros. They wanted everybody to just look at the positives. And when we came across that in the news, I was like, yeah, okay. Where's your list of negatives, right? Even being somebody that thinks that it should happen, anytime there's a list of pros, there's a list of cons, right? And anytime a company is going to push numbers at this like this at you, there's also a flip side to it, dude. So it's funny to me that like this is the kind of stuff businesses shoot at you all the time. It's like, yeah, but what's the other side of those numbers, you know? I'm not even going to dive into that. Is Dead Space a video game classic? Absolutely. I'm not diving into this. Yes, it is. 15 years old now, or almost 15 years old. Came out in 2008. Dead Space 1, absolutely a classic. And it holds up. Dead Space 1 holds up. I'm not talking about Dead Space Remake. I'm talking about original Dead Space 1. Game holds up. And it's iconic for a reason. It is absolutely a classic video game. It will forever be known as one of the greatest horror games. Next free Epic Game Store title has been announced. Let's just go ahead and hit on this real quick. The free games for on Epic's platform have changed over. You can get City of Gangsters for free and Dishonored: Death of the Outsider for free right now until the morning of February 9th. Morning our time, 10 a.m. CST. At that point, these will no longer be available, and then you'll be able to get Recipe for Disaster. I'm willing to bet they will add another title in here as well at some point close to the night. As we approach the night, they'll add some other title in here to go along with Recipe for Disaster. Quite often that happens. Not always, but usually they give away 2 games each week. And sometimes they'll just wait until the last minute to announce what the second free game will be. So more than likely, we'll get another game to go along with Recipe for Disaster. But go ahead and go get on Epic and grab your free titles, okay? And now we don't have to hit on this. Oh. Insomniac's Wolverine game is reportedly targeting a mature audience. Yes. Let's go. This is what I've been griping about with so much of the, whether you talk about DC or Marvel or, I don't care. I'm still going to sneak in there and play it. Because I'm ornery. And I would agree with you. I'm not mature. So I've harped on this a lot. And I understand why companies do this. It's become the trend. It's the thing. Disney has always done this, and they own so much of the space of a lot of these universes now with Star Wars and Marvel and you got the DC stuff. They do a lot of this too, where they take a lot of these characters that are normally known traditionally. To be very, very kind of gnarly stories, very brutal kind of characters, and they really tone it down really bad for a more child or youth-like audience, and it just ruins it for me, man. Can it still be entertaining enough? Yeah, I guess. But it just doesn't do it for me, And whether you talk about and it hasn't happened to all of them, but like Deadpool's great. The Deadpool movies are fantastic. I think they did a great job by making those mature movies. I think they nailed it. But then you take the flip side of that and you take a movie, and I use this as an example all the time. I do not think that Venom should have ever been a anything other than a mature rated movie. Venom should have been something gnarly. And I know why they did it. It's the flip side of the Spider-Man universe. There's a lot of kids that love the Spider-Man stuff. They wanted to make it child appropriate. And so they really dumbed it down. But dude, could you imagine something like Venom being set in a mature realm? You know what I mean? It could have been so gnarly. It could have been so good. The way that character is kind of, naturally supposed to be. And then we've got things like Spawn coming again and things like that. And you hope that some of these characters are kept to be in line with what they're traditionally known for. And I'm not a comic book head or anything like that, but you don't have to be to know that there are some characters that are just traditionally known to be kind of very, very mature lore-wise, and I think it's important that they be kept that way to an extent for some of us. Wolverine's one of those, I think. And I would love to see Insomniac change over from doing Spider-Man, which they do so very, very well, which is not a mature rated game, into doing something like Wolverine and capturing that magic that they do so well in developing a fantastic gameplay experience, but really, really getting into Logan's character and the lore behind him and what a gnarly character that can be, He does teeter back and forth, but he can also be very, very, it can be a very mature, it could have gone either way. Let's be fair. Wolverine is one of those characters that could go either way, right? Through the history of Wolverine, yeah, absolutely. You are absolutely right, Ferret. But again, I think that there's been so much catering in the entertainment industry to children and youth and dumbing down these characters. It's going to be, for me at least, so like just a breath of fresh air, dude, to see a developer try to bring out the darker side of a character, a more brutal side of the character that we know is there, instead of trying to hide it behind a curtain. You know what I mean? So I am really, really hopeful they get this done, and we'll read about it. Gear 6 is reported the Coalition's next game. Ten upcoming video games you didn't realize got canceled. We'll take a quick peek at that. We've already hit on this yesterday again. Take a look at yesterday's news segment. I've got a clip about my take on this that I'm going to be... it's a highlight on the channel already. Highlight on this channel. It'll be up on YouTube later today. Assassin's Creed creators cling to family control at Ubi. I think Ubi's going down, dude. And I really think it'll either be like somebody like Embracer or Tencent take it. Dude, I am just like, my brain is just really, really off this morning. I'm sorry, guys. We've already hit on the DualSense Edge PS5 controller. I've already given my take on this. TLDR. This is, in my opinion, a ploy from hardware manufacturers and major console developers to suck more money out of people. This is what all controllers should be. Ultimately, what they do is they give you more accessibility. There are a lot of people out there that have issues with, whether it be nerve damage or maybe missing a digit or something like that, or even further into needing more accessibility options. And these upgraded controllers give you that. But what you're going to do is you're going to go pay over $200 for whether it be this DualSense Edge PS5 controller or Xbox's controller. I forgot what they call it. Their Elite controller or whatever. And in this DualSense Edge controller, you don't even get as good of a battery in this as you do a regular DualSense PS5 controller. It's kind of stupid. But what you do get is like the ability to set different kinds of pressure points for like triggers. You get different joysticks to put into it. It's got a little bit of like modular functionality for the joysticks. Ultimately, what console makers should be doing is giving you the option for modular, all the way around a controller. You should get a base input. You should be able to buy modular stuff to create whatever kind of controller you want. That's the way it should work. But they'll never do that because it won't be cost effective for them. It won't be profitable for them. It would be too cost effective for us. And so instead they're like, oh well, you can either go buy like just a normal, go be a normie and buy a controller like this. You know what I mean? And or you can be a real gamer and go spend over $200 on one of our Elite controllers, where you get more options for anybody that might have accessibility issues and, stuff like that. It feels bad. I'm not a fan of it. But that's the world we live in. So, but again, as far as the PS5 version is concerned, this controller has a worse battery in it than the original, the regular DualSense PS5 controller does. Now, I don't know. You might be able, if you're a tech savvy person, you might be able to switch those batteries out between the two controllers. I don't know. I've never seen inside of both of them to be able to tell or know what the size of both the batteries are to see if you might be able to swap them out or something like that. But I don't know why. I wouldn't assume they're the same size. I would not assume they're the same size because why would Sony do this? It doesn't make any sense. But why they're making you pay $200, roughly 4 times the amount for a regular PS5 controller that doesn't have as long or longer of a battery life in it, beyond me. That's a fail, dude. That is a fail. Best deals from the PlayStation Store Critics' Choice stuff. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, we've got all that stuff up. RE4 Remake reveals a new character. One more page. You want me to look at it? I'll pull it up for you. It's that's not really gaming news. That's why I skipped it, dude. I mean, it's a Lego contest for Final Fantasy VII. That's not really gaming. It's got Final Fantasy VII in it, but this is like legit Lego stuff. Uh, so I'll throw it to you, dude. Here. Anybody else who wants to see it, it's in chat. Well, it's not really about gaming stuff. It's about physical Lego uh things. So that's why I skipped it. No. Yeah, it's actually a Lego contest announced by Square Enix. So they want people to like build Final Fantasy VII stuff out of Legos. Yeah. Well, it would be to you, dude, but you're a troll, and trolls, they got a different way of thinking, dude. Did you have a long night last night, or what? I really thought that you were like I was waiting last night. I worked all flipping all day yesterday, dude, and all night. And I saw that clip and I died laughing, dude. I sent that clip and I was like, he's gonna love this. And I got nothing back. And I got depressed. I was like, wow, Wick doesn't love me, you know? Put it out of Lincoln Logs. Yeah, but you're building it out of Lincoln Logs will be like not stacking Lincoln Logs. You'll be like sawing them in half and gluing them together with like Gorilla Glue, and it'll look like Jabba the Hutt instead of like a Final Fantasy VII character by the time you get done. You're at a show? What show? And why wasn't I invited? Now I really feel depressed. Detective Pikachu 2 is still in development? What? Gorilla Glue and bubblegum? Nice, dude. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, we already read about this yesterday too. Amnesia the Bunker got delayed by about 8 weeks. For real? Was it good? Square Enix announced declining financial results. Yo, me too, Ferret. Wait, what? What's Amnesia? Oh, I don't know. Who am I? Nice one, dude. Yo, this isn't video gaming news, but the Witcher author has provided some updates on the new books. So if anybody out there are big Witcher fans, you might go take a look. It looks like there might be some new information out there about the new books coming to the Witcher universe. Okay, dude, Hi-Fi Rush. That game was a lot of fun, man. That game was a lot of fun. I loved it. Dude, this stuff, dude, I don't ever read into this crap because it's so funny to me. Like, what was the show I was watching where they were like memeing on? Oh, I've been watching the show Evil. I've been watching the show Evil with my wife, and um, it's on Paramount Plus. And there's this part where this guy like sets this other lady in this office, and he's like, "All right, we've got this like it's a digital currency, and it's like this whatever coin, and it's like, hey, this thing is like trending or trading at like $28 a coin right now, and we need you to get it up to 170 something dollars a coin. Okay. She's like, wait, what is this? And he's like, it's nothing. He's like, it's 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 just something in the virtual world. He's like, it's not really anything, but people pay for it. It's awesome. I was dying, dude. I was like, this is perfect, bro. This is perfect. And it's funny because I mean, there are a lot of people that have made a lot of money off the cryptocurrency stuff, but there's also a lot of people that have lost a lot of money on it. And this is what I find so funny about it too. It's like there's always some site or outlet that's trying to like promote the new coin, the new crypto coin, the new cryptocurrency. It's like, Jesus, dude, it's never gonna stop. But now, like, I see it, and that's what it makes me think of. He's like, we need you to get this, crank up the, you need to get the public thinking that this thing is worth more money, It's just like, what is it? It's nothing. They're buying nothing. Dreamlight Valley releases new Update 3 teaser. We got some Dreamlight Valley players in here, so let's take a look at that. Cool. Stick with this. I need so much coffee today. Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2 still in development from Legendary Entertainment. It's been nearly 4 years since Pokemon Detective Pikachu released in theaters. The movie was a critical and commercial success, and a sequel was quickly announced by Legendary Entertainment shortly after the movie's debut. Unfortunately, the last few years have seen no additional information about the project, and star Justice Smith didn't seem too optimistic about it back in 2021. However, it seems that Legendary might not be finished with the Electric Mouse and Detective. In a statement provided to Polygon, a representative for the studio revealed that the sequel is still in active development, though no additional details were provided. While many fans expected that the first live-action Pokemon film might center on the main series games or adapt the adventures of Ash Ketchum, Legendary instead went in a much different direction. Pokemon Detective Pikachu instead loosely adapted the events of a 3DS spin-off game. While it was an odd choice, the filmmakers did an excellent job bringing Pokemon to life on the big screen. The movie received heavy praise from the faithfulness of the film's Pokemon. Fans have been begging to see a sequel for years now. It's still weird who Ryan Reynolds voicing Pikachu was so odd to me, man. Was that not weird to anybody else? I don't know, man. That was like Ryan Pratt being Mario. Or Chris Pratt, I mean. Chris Pratt being Mario. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. Wait, what? What did I miss? I'm super three head today. Oh, for real? Yeah, I didn't even see it, dude. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So I guess that makes a little more sense. Okay. Word. Yeah. All right. Hmm. Well, yeah, I guess I get that then. Yeah. Oh no, you're fine. If I haven't watched it by this point, it didn't really appeal to me. I don't know. I would have been much more apt. Was it entertaining? Yeah, you liked it, Ferret. I would have been much more apt to see just like, bro. Honestly, bring me the Ash Ketchum stuff. Give me Ash's Adventures. You know, cool. I actually find it weird that they didn't go for that. I would have been much more inclined to go watch like movies like that on the Pikachu or on the Pokemon universe, where it was like live action Pokemon stuff following Ash and yeah, I know. I do. Hey guys, it's me, Ash. Who needs their soul cleansed? Pikachu paralyze him. I'm just kidding, dude. That's a whole different Pokemon show, dude. Pokex. That's Pokemon. Oh, dude. Oh, jeez. Interestingly enough, a second Detective Pikachu video game was announced for Nintendo Switch. Pokemon, yeah, dude. Second Detective Pikachu game was announced for Nintendo Switch shortly after the film's release. The 3DS game ended on a cliffhanger with Tim Goodman still searching for his missing father. In the movie, Tim's father is revealed to have been combined with Detective Pikachu thanks to Mewtwo. But the Pokemon Company has stated, see, there you go, dude. You didn't even, I mean, I was going to read this anyways. But the Pokemon Company has stated that the game's conclusion will play out differently. Ironically, information on Detective Pikachu 2 for the Nintendo Switch has also dried up, leading many fans to assume that it was canceled. The Pokemon Company has stated that the game is still in the works, but no footage or screenshots have been released. After all this time, it would be really great to see Detective Pikachu sequels in theaters and on Nintendo Switch, but until we get something concrete, fans should continue to temper their expectations. Okay. I don't know, that's wild. Yeah, I know. Yeah. 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 I don't know, man. I still think that they should just move forward with live action Pokemon. Get Ash into it. We'll just get Miley Cyrus to play Ash. It'll be fine. Last month, Disney Dreamlight Valley releases new update 3 teaser. Uh, Last month, Disney Dreamlight Valley developer. I knew you'd like that, dude. He swings in on a Pokeball, dog. God dang, bro. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Perfect, dude. I came in like a Pokeball. Wear the Ash get up, dude. It'd be perfect, dude. That's where it's at, dude. We figured it out. Yo, we're gonna be rich, dude. We got this all figured out. Fair, bro. All right, Disney Dreamlight Valley releases new update 3 teaser. Last month, Disney Dreamlight Valley developer Gameloft released a 2023 roadmap, hinting at a lot of new features coming this year. The game's third major update, a Festival of Friendship, is set to release sometime this month, and it will feature the arrival of Encanto's Mirabelle and Madrigal, as well as Frozen's Olaf. Nice, dude. Olaf's good stuff. I'm not a big fan of Disney, but Olaf's good stuff. However, there's a lot we don't know about the update, and Gameloft has released a short teaser video stating that a new door is opening soon. The players will need to keep an eye out for this key to unlocking it. The teaser video can be found in the tweet embedded below. Let's take a look. God, dude. We get off on some wild stuff, don't we? Okay. Dude. A new door is opening soon. Cool. Olaf is great. I mean, for me, dude, I like some of the Disney stuff. I like some of it. I don't like... Mickey Mouse scares the crap out of me. Mickey Mouse is disgustingly scary. I'll stand by that, dude. I don't care who you are. You will not be able to convince me otherwise. There's something really creepy about that character. I'm just not. I mean, you know, it's for me and who I like. I tend to like, you know. You know who I am. I like the darker stories. I like, you know, so the fact they've taken all these like fairy tales and turned them into feel good stories, you know, that's kind of a turn off for me. But um I do like so, you know, there are a amount of their characters that I dig. You know, I love the Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's Disney, and you know, Olaf's great stuff. They do have a lot of good characters. I like like a lot of their like more like evil characters and stuff. I did like I like Hades. Hades from Hercules is really good, and like what's her name? Uzma. Is that her name from the Hades was great, dude. Yeah. And from Emperor's New Groove. You know, Emperor's New Groove is a great show. Like they've got a lot of good shows. They do. They do. Um but I like I was talking about before, like uh Kronk, and dude, Kronk, what a great character Kronk is, you know. Um oh bro, are you for real? Dude, if you like Disney stuff, if you generally like Disney, you need to watch Emperor's New Groove, dude. Yeah. Yeah. That's a flipping great one. Fantastic. Yeah. They do a good job. They do a good job. I just you know, the like what they do with a lot of their stuff that they buy into, the IPs they get, like Star Wars. Dude, I haven't liked Star Wars for a long time, and especially after they got their hands on it, it's just there's the opportunity is there to see some really really good, gnarly dark side of the stuff. You know what I mean? And you never see it. All they want to do is show like the hero thing, you know, like the Jedi stuff, and they don't want to do any kind of like, and they just cater to the young audience and stuff, and that's where I start getting thrown off about it, you know. So, and I get it, it's Disney, dude. That's what they do, you know. But so that's where I get a little bit thrown off by Disney. I get it. I know that's who they are. That's what they do. That's what I compare them and Nintendo all the time. That's what Nintendo is. Nintendo is like the Disney of the video gaming world. They do the same thing, you know. And I like a lot of Nintendo stuff too, but it's not my my first choice, whenever I'm gaming. A lot of Nintendo stuff isn't really my. It's not where I'm gonna gravitate towards to go first. Just like Disney's not gonna be my go to for a lot of content. It's not bad necessarily. It's just not. It doesn't appeal to me greatly. In a follow-up tweet, GameLoft mentioned that this key will unlock a different kind of door, one that holds a great deal of importance to one of the new characters you'll meet in our next update. Presumably, this is referring to Mirabelle from Encanto. Doors played a major role in the film's narrative and the way each member of the family Madrigal received their special gift. The gold ball in the video above certainly looks like the doorknob to the house Casita, but it's difficult to tell. Of course, we're talking about a different kind of door. It's also possible this could be a figurative one. We know Olaf is coming to Disney Dreamlight Valley, and arguably the most popular song from Frozen is Love is an Open Door. For now, Disney Dreamlight Valley fans will just have to speculate about the game's third update, what GameLoft has in store. The life sim has found a passionate following since its early access release last September. Fans have been clamoring for more content to keep them busy. The game's roadmap has a lot of content listed for this year. GameLoft has hinted at additional plans during our recent interview, which readers can find right here. If you guys need more, throw it in chat for you. The best deals from the PlayStation Store Critics Choice Sale. Uh, Lots of sales. AC Valhalla for 33. Valhalla Dawn of Ragnarok for 30. Modern Warfare 2. What? Look, man, we just, I think we just fit into different groups, and that's okay. you know, why is this? This has to be like a special edition or something, dude. What is this? Just like these, like AC Valhalla. This just looks like a standard edition or something. Why would it be $100, dude? What? Same as that. What is all this? What prices are these, dude? Dude, these can't be U.S. prices. These can't be U.S. dollars, dude. I don't know. Look, there's a lot of games in here on sale. I'm assuming these are not like initial U.S. prices because this seems crazy to me. Maybe like I don't know, dude. Like Sonic Frontiers, $100. This is like Australian or something. Yeah. I know. That's what I'm saying. Even the Vault Edition is 80, right? But that's what I'm saying. They're not like calling these special editions or anything. Uh, and even these games down here, like Sonic Frontiers, are showing as like $100 game and being 30% off for flipping. You can get it now for $67. What? This can't be U.S., dude. This can't be U.S. One second. Did I slip into a coma or something? Did prices go up this much? What? Where have I been, dude? What is this? Uh, I really don't think that. I don't think these are US. The date of this article is 3 February, dude. This was today. Today. So I'm thinking this could be maybe like Canadian, like Sydney. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, bud. Thanks, dude. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It could have been like Australian or either like Canadian or something like that. But these did not seem like U.S. dollars, dude. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking, dude. Spud, thanks very much, buddy. How are you, dude? What's up? Yeah, so here, I'll link this for you guys. But look, here's the deal. Usually, these titles might change a little bit from region to region around the world, depending on where you live. But quite often, they'll be pretty similar. The prices will be a bit different because obviously, you know, this is reflecting what would be, seems to be Australian prices. So be aware of that. But looks like PlayStation is having some sales for the Critics' Choice stuff, okay? Yeah, AU dollars, yep. Resident Evil 4 Remake reveals new character. When the Resident Evil 4 Remake releases next month, the game will feature a number of changes that will set it apart from the 2005 original. In addition to making a change to the game's QuickTime events, the remake will also feature a brand new villain that players will encounter. This one is a Ganado villager that wields a massive sledgehammer. While that would be intimidating enough on its own, he's also wearing a giant cow's head. Fantastic. In an interview with Game Informer, art director Hirofumi Nakaoka revealed, I probably butchered that last name, sorry, revealed that the villain was created as a halfway point between a human character and a Los Illuminados inspired religious horror motive. Look at that, dude. Sick. That reminds me of some Evil Within stuff, actually. Game Informer's video revealing a new character can be found right here, and an image of the character can be found below. Yep. According to Nakoka, the character's cow head was inspired by previous Resident Evil games where cow and deer heads would often be found as decorations in various settings. He was quick to point out that this is a mask and the character is not a minotaur, so players should not expect to see the cow's eyes moving. In fact, it seems that it's a bit cumbersome for the man wearing it. Nakoka leaves it open to whether the man placed the dead cow's head on himself or if it was placed on him by someone else. Regardless, it's quite creepy and it looks like a compelling new addition to the game's cast. Set to release on March 24th, Resident Evil 4 Remake might be one of the year's most highly anticipated games. The title is slated to release on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Yep. Original version of RE4 was released on GameCube in 2005, has been ported to countless platforms over the last 18 years, and is widely considered one of the greatest video games ever made. Definitely one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Resident Evil game ever made. There is pressure on Capcom to get this one right. Absolutely. If you guys need more, I'll throw it in chat. Officially known as dollary dues. Is that what that is? Yeah, that's news to me, dude. Dollary dues in Australia, apparently, according to Spud. I'm gonna every time I see Australian dollars now, I'm gonna go, hey man, those are dollary dues, and they're gonna be like, that's what? I'm gonna go, hey man, that's a Spud told me. Spud Solutions told me those are called dollary dues. And they'll be like, I don't think that's right. They'll be like, no, it's definitely right. Spuds told me. Yeah. You know it, dude. You know it. Assassin's Creed creators cling to family control at Ubisoft. Yeah, look, dude, Ubi is in trouble right now. I really think they're going to sell this year. I mean, I could be surprised. But they're in trouble. Recent stumbles have pummeled the company's shares, making it primed to take over Target. But will the Guillemot brothers let it go? There were talks of Ubi selling last year, and they're in an even, I would say, a significantly more dire position this year than they were last year, which I think really pushes them to the top of the big developers and publishers at this point. That is in line to be bought out. Every second Monday of the month for over 3 decades, the five Gameau brothers, whose company gave the world such blockbuster video game series as the Assassin's Creed, Rayman, and Rabbids, have gotten on a call from their homes in London, New York, Paris, and Brittany. Often stretching into the wee hours of the Paris morning, the chats on everything from industry trends to threats from the metaverse have helped the brothers forge a common vision for Ubisoft. Not a great vision, I don't think. The company they founded in the 80s in a sleepy northwestern French town, catapulting it into one of the largest standalone studios in the $200 billion global video games industry. Now that vision is being tested by a series of crises. From a high-profile sexism and harassment case in the corporate suite, a pact with China's digital giant Tencent, yes, that has angered minority investors, delays in the release of new games, canceled titles that will result in the biggest loss in the company's history, and its first ever labor strike, Ubisoft seems to have lost the plot. Quote, the group's messaging is no longer reliable, and the disappointments are following one another at too high a rate, which seems to testify that there is a truly structural problem within the group, said Alain de Prubert, a partner and fund manager at Sycamore Asset Management, which sold its shares in the company in January. The string of setbacks has led to more than 55% plunge in Ubisoft shares since August, which could make it a prime takeover target in an industry that saw Microsoft last year offer $69 billion for Activision Blizzard. But investors say that the brothers deal with Tencent, which makes any potential takeover harder, shows their determination to keep control even as big tech giants from Disney and Microsoft to Apple, Amazon, and Meta gobble up independent studios or create their own content in the intensifying battle for gamers' attention. You can see it right here. They note right here, this is where the executives, many executives left in the Me Too scandal, and they were dealing with their own sexual harassment stuff internally. And it was about 6 months later, about 7 to 8 months later, they just started tanking, and it hasn't stopped. This is where Tencent doubled their stake in Ubi. And this is why I've been telling people, if there were companies that were going to buy into Ubi, and look, from what we've read, Ubisoft has already put their feelers out there and have been like inquiring into other big companies as to who might be interested in buying them out. And the word is that there aren't many that are willing to take them over because of what a hot mess they are. That's what we've read, at least. Now, I still think that a company like Tencent that already has invested a lot could potentially want to go ahead and own them outright, as well as maybe a company like Embracer, because Embracer is a company that is very, very smart about getting in at a good price point for taking over IPs. Know why EA is the worst American games company, right? Because Ubisoft is based in Montreal. Well, Ubisoft is actually French. Ubisoft is based in France, dude. I mean, that's where they're out of. Yeah, they're out of France. They've got a lot of stuff. Yeah, they're out of France, dude. Where's their is it in Paris? Which is one of the things I've talked about. One of the things that makes it a little bit harder for other companies in the West to take them over is that France isn't real nice about that stuff. Now, Ubisoft has locations, right, around the rest of the world, but Ubisoft is, that's where they're headquartered at, right? This is where they originally established their corporation, right, was founded in March of '86 in Montreal. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but in France. And this is one of the things that makes it rough. So I've talked about this before. Now, as with most companies, they have, offices and locations throughout the world. But to actually buy them out, because they are founded out of France, to buy them out, there's some weird kinds of, because of France's regulations and things like that. There's some weird hurdles there. Dude, Farron, I'm terrible at it. I get ripped on all the time by like Sayek. Sayek is Canadian and multilingual dude and like lives in Germany. He's always having to help me pronounce French names and everything. So I suck at it, dude. But this is there. From what I understand, there's potentially maybe a little bit more difficulty in a company coming from the West, or like maybe the U.S. or the Americas, coming to buy them out in France, than there would be maybe an Eastern Hemisphere, especially a company out of Europe. From what I understand, I don't know all the ins and outs of that. That's just some stuff that I've caught little tidbits of. But again, what I was trying to get at is a company like Tencent that already has a big investment in that company, it could make sense for them to just take them. Also, Embracer. Embracer's Swedish. And we've seen Embracer just been buying up all kinds of stuff. To the point of, we just saw them in the middle of last year, Embracer. If you didn't know this, I'm going to hit on this again real quick. If you hadn't already heard this. The middle of last year, Embracer bought all of Square Enix's North American development studios. Along with that, they got the IPs for Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, and Thief, right? They got all of that for $300 million, which everybody at the time was going, that's actually a pretty good price. Even though $300 million to most of us seems like a lot of money, that's a pretty good price, dude, considering. Well, 2 days ago, we found out that Embracer turned around and sold just the Tomb Raider IP outright to Amazon for $600 million. They literally doubled the investment that they put into all that stuff from Square Enix. They doubled up on it. Embracer is literally just swooping up all these IPs and stuff and finding ways to make return and profit off of it in some form or fashion. They have all the rights right now to the Lord of the Rings stuff. It's insane. They bought the rights for all the Lord of the Rings stuff. It's crazy, dude. They have a lot of, and here's the thing about Ubi. It's not their development stuff that that companies are going to want. That's a mess. They don't want their development stuff. Really, let's be honest. Their development process is not great outside of some of the things they've been able to do consistently. So it would take a lot of revamping to go in there and restructure a lot of that probably. But they've got a lot of IPs that are very, very valuable. And a company like Tencent or Embracer that would be willing to go in and buy them, that's what they would be after. They would be after those big named IPs, Assassin's Creed, all the Tom Clancy stuff, things of that nature, right? Ubisoft, which fought off a takeover attempt in 2018 when its shares were at about 100 euros, is now trading at around 20 euros. The Gamo's Tencent deal, which seems to have put any potential takeover by the Chinese company or any other entity on the back burner, is seen by investors as evidence of the corporate governance pitfalls at family-controlled entities. The brothers' efforts have come against a bumper year for M&A in the sector last year with a record 324 deals. Fat Pat, what is up, my dude? How you been, buddy? Happy Friday. According to a report by investment bank Drake Star Partners, Sony bought Bungie for $3.6 billion, and a whole slew of other smaller studios. While Tencent's Chinese rival NetEase snapped up Quantic Dream, France's second biggest studio. Reeling over the Epic announcements lately? Yeah, we're about to hit on some of that, dude. I've already talked about Rumbleverse getting shut down over the past couple of days, but we've got Knockout City up. Wick brought it to me first thing this morning, dude. It's about to hit. We're gonna go over it in just a moment. Yeah. We'll talk about it. I know. I'm sorry, man. Them's the breaks, dude. That's the gaming world we live in, though. The PAX doesn't prevent us from talking with whoever we want and work with whoever we want, he said. The market generates discussions all the time. It is part of an industry that composes itself. A lot of things will happen because the market of 200 billion has not many players with more than 7 or 8 billion in revenue. This market has not yet consolidated. Bro, that's a movie I need to go back and watch because I haven't seen this in a while. But I love this movie. In September, the brothers sold a 49.9% stake. Oh, okay. Yo, Farrah, just tell them that you can't make it. Let them know that OA said things have come up. Ferret can't make it. And everything will be fine. All right, dude. Yo, look away, buddy. Thanks for being here, dude. I hope the meetings go as well as meetings can go, brother. I know how that is. Yeah. Oh, dude, look, got Ryu. Nice. In September, the brothers sold a 49.9% stake in their holding company, Gomo Brothers, to Tencent in a deal widely seen as an attempt to keep predators at bay. The 300 million euro pact, which valued Ubisoft shares at 80 euros each, almost twice the trading price at the time, let Yves, I think, continue as CEO and kept the brothers on the board. Tencent's stake in Ubisoft is capped at under 10% for 8 years, and it has no operational veto rights. It also can't sell its shares in Ubisoft for 5 years, after which the Gomo family has the right of first refusal. The deal was seen as sort of poison pill preventing any M&A, said Charles Louis Plenet, an analyst for TP ICAP Midcap. The Gomo family and Tencent together own about 25% of Ubisoft and 29.7% of its voting rights. To Plenet, it's not inconceivable for the company to be taken over for the right price. If a buyer made an offer for the whole group at 50 euros a share, it would get a majority of the shares by far, even if the family didn't bring its shares, he said. This scenario is not on the table, but it shouldn't be ruled out. I'm sorry, but why am I getting like American Psycho vibes off of this picture? You guys ever seen the movie American Psycho? I feel like all these guys kill people. You know? Yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about? Some industry observers say the Gilmour brothers are being naive about Tencent, the world's biggest video games company. Tencent will want a bigger say in its investment. Ubisoft continues to stumble. And one industry executive, for now the Chinese company seems supportive, at least publicly, calling Ubisoft a great company, while declining to comment on the company's recent flubs. Before striking the Tencent deal last year, Ubisoft has resisted being taken over because, quote, there was the specter of its dismemberment, said Christian Guillemot, who is 56. At 56 is the youngest brother. The Americans start by keeping what they want and sell what they don't want. In 2015, Ubisoft's stable of titles caught the eye of the brothers' billionaire compatriot Vincent Bolloré, whose Vivendi SA had bought a majority stake in Activision Blizzard in 2008. Bolloré launched a hostile raid on the studio, accumulating a 27% stake. When it became clear, however, the brothers weren't going to cede control, Bolloré walked away. It was at that point in 2018 that Tencent came to the rescue, buying an initial stake in Ubisoft from Vivendi. Ubisoft still has a lot going for it. Outside of Chinese gaming giants, it has the biggest production capacity in the world in terms of the number of developers and a unique games portfolio by the number of number, and diversity of its brands. It owns most of its intellectual property, with series like Assassin's Creed, Rapids delivering revenue for merchandising and animes. Assassin's Creed, one of the most popular sagas in gaming, with more than 200 million units sold worldwide since 2007, is being adapted for a live-action original series that will stream on Netflix. Yeah, let's talk about this, though. They have polluted. I think there's something to be said for, yeah. Assassin's Creed has been very popular, right? Don't get me wrong; it's a very popular series, but I think that they're hurting themselves, and they have hurt themselves by not allowing time in between titles to really work on developing uniqueness between the titles to a great extent, and allowing hype to build up for each individual title coming to the series. We saw at the end of last year, towards the end of last year, Assassin's Creed hit 15-year anniversary, right? 15-year anniversary. And there, at that point, 15-year anniversary, were 12 mainline Assassin's Creed titles and 17 spinoffs. It's a very polluted series for that amount of time. And I can attest to the fact myself that somebody that's never taken a dive into Assassin's Creed, it's kind of daunting. It makes it seem like I don't really want to, because there's just too much. And I know there are people that have told me that there are some very, very good titles in there that I should try out, and I'm not against that. But that's the way it has seemed to me for a number of years now. And I understand something is successful, you keep rolling with it and do good with it, but there's good ways and bad ways to go about that. Also, with their Netflix adaptation, there's a little bit of turmoil going on with that series as well. We've read about. I'm not going to get into all that because we've hit on it before, but you take something like Riot with League of Legends. They have really they've got a nice big universe built up on the lore behind League of Legends. They're doing a great job with expanding on that universe into different forms of entertainment, like with Arcane into the Netflix show, which is fantastic, by the way. Even if you're not a League of Legends fan, which I'm not, Arcane is great. It's a very, very well done show all the way around. They've got all kinds of different games based off of the League of Legends world. You know, they've got games in development, like a fighting game called, Project L, I think, and it looks very cool. They're doing a good job with that kind of stuff. So there's good ways to lean on a universe, and then there's ways in which I feel like maybe you just aren't focusing on quality of content and just polluting it, which eventually is going to turn people off, I think. Where Ubisoft has fallen recently is on execution. On January 12th, it forecast an operating loss of 500 million euros for the year ending in March, pointing to disappointing holiday sales of recent games, Just Dance 2023 and Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Its Skull and Bones naval battle game was delayed for the 6th time to spring 2024. Yves Guillemot blamed the company's woes on the post-pandemic shift to working from home and recessionary pressures, cutting discretionary spending. At the individual level, everyone works the same, if not more than before, but at the collective level, as teams do not meet, efficiency falls, he says. Ubisoft will focus on mega brands and nix some smaller titles, he said. It is scheduled to release this year the latest version of Assassin's Creed called Mirage. It is also working on a video game version of James Cameron's Avatar, part of an alliance with Disney that will include Star Wars games in the future. In an email to employees after the recent failures, I've said, the ball is in your court to succeed in launching this lineup in time and with the expected quality, and to show everyone what you are capable of. Yeah, this got a lot of negative criticism and feedback. The message went down like a rock, with staffers saying that they were being blamed for sales shortfalls and prompting the CEO to apologize. A 200 million euro cost reduction plan over 2 years by not replacing exiting employees provoked Ubisoft's first labor unrest on January 27th, with some employees suspending work for a few hours. Employee relations had been already frayed by a high-profile scandal In the corporate suite, for years it was an open secret within Ubisoft that sexual harassment and sexism were rampant at the company, with little heed paid to victims' complaints. But with the hashtag MeToo movement drawing public attention to the case, Ubisoft was forced in 2020 to deal with its toxic environment. The accusations reached the highest echelons, bringing down, among others, Serge Hascoët, the company's chief creative officer and a close collaborator of the CEO. I'm gonna summarize this. Over the years, the brothers have been ensuring the business is kept well within the family. Some of their children work for Ubisoft, and last year, Claude 66 proposed donating 22% of the gaming gear seller Gameau Corp to the brothers' 17 children and their 5 spouses to get them to feel more involved. As for Ives, he has no intention of letting go. I'm still young, the 62-year-old said. They're in a bad spot, dude. That's what it comes down. We've talked about it a lot. This is a very deep article. It goes into a lot of detail about what's going on, what has happened, what's put them in this position. And I've talked about it for a while now. They're not the only big major developer that is trending this way. They're just kind of heading up the pack, if you ask me. Luckily, we recently got a prime example of how to not be like Ubi. I see a trend quite often in the industry of big, massive companies getting stuck in a rut of only being able to do well what they've done for a very long time. They find it hard to reach outside the box of what they're used to doing and come up with unique content. And I think that hurts long term. They do well at surviving for quite a while by leaning on these very successful IPs. But especially, like I said, with Assassin's Creed, it just starting to seem very polluted. It seems like a reskin all the time to a lot of people. There doesn't seem to be a lot of uniqueness. There's not enough time in between titles to get hyped about it. It's like, oh, here's another one, 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 here's another one. And that's kind of what they become known for. And then they try to do something unique and different like Skull and Bones, and now has been delayed, 6 or 7 times within 4 to 5 years. There's something wrong, right? But I think luckily enough, we got an example here recently of take Tango. While they're not nearly as big as somebody like Ubi, they are well known. They are becoming a bigger developer. Tango is. They got very famous off of the Evil Within games. They came out with Ghostwire Tokyo last year, and dude, they just shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush on us, and I just finished it. It's amazing. I have apologized numerous times because the trailer drop at the Xbox Bethesda showcase on the 25th of January, I was criticizing it. I did not think it was going to be good. It looked, the writing and the protagonist of the game, the dialogue and everything looked cringy to me. And I was a bit jaded by the fact it wasn't Evil Within 3 coming from Tango. I let that skew my perception a bit too, and I shouldn't have done that. That was not cool of me. And I harp all the time about companies, developers not being able to do anything different than what they normally do. Dude, Tango killed it. Tango is known for doing horror games. They made a rhythm-based hack and slash game that was wholesome and bright and vibrant and amazing. It was polished on release. It was a shadow drop that didn't have hype around it. And it released at a $30 price point, which is less than half of what most AAA games release in today's day. It's completely different than anything you'll see nowadays in the gaming industry. And I think it's that kind of thing that a lot of us as consumers and gaming enthusiasts are looking for from developers nowadays is bring something to the table like that. Show us you can do something different. And not only did Tango do that, but dude, they dropped it on us without us even knowing it was coming. And I think they really did just kind of set the bar and show some of these other big developers that this is the kind of thing you have to be able to do. You have to be able to create different stuff than what you're used to. Not all the time, but you got to show that you can do some different things, create good quality content, and not just do the same thing over and over and over. Eventually, I think it leads to your demise. Gears 6 is reportedly the Coalition's next game after 2 other titles were canceled. It's claimed that the Canadian studio was recently affected by layoffs at Microsoft. A lot of studios were. The Coalition has reported shifted in its full attention to the next entry in the Gears of War series after 2 other games in development at the studio were canceled. During his Game Mess morning show on Thursday, Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb claimed Xbox's Canadian studio was now full steam ahead on Gears 6. The Coalition said in May of 2021 that it was preparing to transition to next-gen development using UE5, Unreal Engine 5, and shortly after, the LinkedIn profile of one of the studio's level designers claimed they had been working on a new IP. Grubb claimed the Coalition was at one point working on 2 now canceled projects in addition to carrying out support work on Halo Infinite and working with Epic on the Matrix Awakens Unreal Engine 5 tech demo. Quote, they have canceled this smaller project as well as another project, so there have been 2 games canceled there, he said. This was all reflected in the layoffs that happened at Microsoft, which did hit the Coalition a little bit. Studio is now going to move on to Gears 6 fully. I say now, it has likely moved on to Gears 6 in full over the course of the last year, but definitely that will be their next game. According to Microsoft, Gears of War has sold over 22 million units and grossed over $1 billion when the company acquired the franchise from Epic in 2014. Since buying the IP, Xbox has released 2 mainline series entries in the form of 2016's Gears of War 4 and 2019's Gears 5, both of which were developed by the Coalition, as well as Gears of War Ultimate Edition and the turn-based tactics spin-off Gears Tactics. Netflix recently announced that it had partnered with the Coalition to release a number of Gears of War projects, including a live-action film. It said the movie would be followed by a Gears of War adult animated series and possibly further projects. News was announced in November to coincide with the 16th anniversary of the Gears of War franchise's launch. All right, so Gears 6, I'm sure we'll get more on it as we move forward. If you guys need anything else out of that article, there it is for you. Let's skim this real quick. 10 upcoming video games you didn't realize just got canceled. Lego Disney. An ex-employee suggested the game was ultimately shuttered due to both being a crap show and the success of Disney Dreamlight Valley last year, which did a lot of things it was trying to do better. Project Cars 4. Project Q. This was something we had seen. Ubisoft. Again. Yeah, this was just announced last April. PvP Team Battle Arena game said to be in early development. No longer happening. Halo Infinite Campaign DLC. Ferret. Jeez, dude. We were just talking about this. How hard it is to get developers to make like campaigns in these types of games anymore. It has been for a long time. Modern Warfare got one that was supposed to be pretty good, but it's still hard to get them to make good campaigns in these games. Arena and small BR titles are dying, and I don't like it. It's because the player base isn't there, man. It's like we read. I mean, I see it. I'm sorry, my nose is so stopped up today. I had a headache all night last night sleeping. I'm a bit of a mess. I'm gonna have to drink some Theraflu today, man, to really start pepping up between the news and the Shredder's revenge gameplay. So I'm sorry, I'm sniffling and stopped up and stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can see it too, Fat Pat. It's a tough segment, man. It's very polluted. And it's hard. It's hard for those games. Right. Yeah, the large scale is alive, but the behemoths aren't the best. Agreed. Um, I mean, that's the issue, right? People want to go play where there's a large community, because that's where the competition's at, right? And so it's a really tough situation because even if a game comes out that feels pretty good, if you don't get a player base in there to attract more and more people, it's going to die. Because if you're not attracting people, other people aren't going to want to come play it because there's not a big enough player base to get games going. You know what I mean? And have a nice competitive community around it. And that's what we keep seeing with these games. I actually tried Roller Champions, Fat Pat, and I agree. Yeah, I thought the concept was very unique. I thought it could have been very good, and that was an Ubisoft game. I tried Roller Champions. It was a buggy mess. It crashed on me a number of times, and there was a lot of bugs in that game. But the concept behind it was pretty unique. It could have been really well done had they just fleshed it out some more. I thought it was pretty cool. Crossplay was terrible too. Yeah, but I got about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours into it, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of boring. It just boring, and the bugs and the crashes. I was like, this isn't worth playing, And that's another thing. I mean, if you're gonna compete in a game that you release, it needs to feel good. If the game doesn't feel good, people aren't going to want to play it. You're not going to be able to maintain a player base, right? So that's a big issue. But pulling people away from the bigger games is hard to do too, right? It's got to be a combination of having something unique about the title that you're releasing that is compelling enough to pull players away and keep them there. And then you've got to keep releasing content. You got to keep releasing content. You got to keep the game feeling fresh. And it's not easy, dude. Especially when you've got these big companies you're competing against that have just massive amounts of production power to keep pushing out content, updates, and it's a difficult thing to do. But I mean, that's the world we live in. The genre of battle royale, as a whole, whether you want to talk about, you know, the various ways it has been incorporated, it's super polluted, and it was inevitable that we're going to hit a point like this. There are some that have done it very, very well. They've gotten very, very good. They've been very successful, like Fortnite, right? Which ultimately leads to a huge disadvantage for even quality games that get released on a smaller scale because it's hard to pull away player base. It's tough, man. It really is. So, I don't know, man. I hear you, though. I hear you. So, Halo Infinite campaign DLC is not happening. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Yeah, we saw Tony Hawk actually confirmed that this wasn't happening. Dude, the old Tony Hawk games were so good. Transformers Heavy Metal. There is another Transformers game in the works, though, so don't you fret. Actually, here. I got you. I got a nice little highlight off that one. when it was announced. New Transformers game. Check this out. That's pretty funny. Switch Pro, we knew that was canceled. Water cooler talk is they're finally talking about getting a new console out for Nintendo, which means Nintendo is not interested in trying to upgrade the current version of the Switch. Thank God. They need to just get their crap together and get a new console going, dude. A lot of people will argue, well, the Switch is only 6 years old. Yes, only 6 years old, which is the exact time that most consoles are already being phased out by a new console. Not to mention this is built on mobile hardware, and the hardware in this is over 7 years old. The console itself is over 6 years old. The hardware in it is over 7 years old. All right? So understand that. 5 Wizards of the Coast games. We've already read about that too. Yep. A lot of Wizards of the Coast games. Yo, not only have they canceled a bunch of Wizards of the Coast games, but if you haven't heard, Wizards of the Coast, which is a subsidiary of Hasbro, tried to really pull one over on every content creator that has anything to do with Dungeons and Dragons and come out with a new open gaming license, a revamped open gaming license, and tried to really pull a quick one on them. And it didn't happen. So Wizards of the Coast is under a lot of fire right now. They've canceled a lot of games, and they're getting blasted because of what they tried to do, being greedy little buttholes with this new OGL. We've hit on it a lot in the news, but if you're not aware and you're interested, go check out what they tried to do with this new OGL. Pretty scummy, man. Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto 4 remasters are not going to happen. And Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. Yeah, this was actually pretty refreshing to hear that this wasn't going to happen right now. It doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. But the creator behind this story and universe and everything basically had come to an agreement with a developer to create a game around this. And as they started working on it, he shut it down and was like, you know what? This is not turning into the quality content that I want people to experience if this was to be a game. So he shut it down. And you gotta respect that, you know? If you guys need more about this, because I didn't really read any of this, we just went through it real quick. There it is. Back for Blood will no longer get new content and updates, according to Turtle Rock Studios. Oh, dude, they got him crying. Big old crying monster. Turtle Rock Studios recently announced the end of post-launch support for Back for Blood, meaning the game will no longer get new updates or content. On its website, Turtle Rock Studios had this to say about Back for Blood. What an amazing year 2022 was for us. First off, we want to thank you all for making Back for Blood what it is today. With 3 expansions, Tunnels of Terror, Children of the Worm, and River of Blood, we've traveled on a fantastic adventure together beyond the walls of Fort Hope. This phase of our war against the Ridden now comes to a close. Turtle Rock Studios is actually pretty small for a studio making AAA games. We don't have quite enough folks to continue working on Back for Blood content while we spin up another game. Yes, another game. Given this, it's time for us to put our heads down, get back in the lab, and get to work on the next big thing. Turtle Rock Studios explained the reasoning behind them ending the game's post-launch support. The studio's small staff would not be able to provide content for the game while working on something else. As such, they decided to bring the post-launch support to an end and focus entirely on the next big thing. At face value, players can't take this as a good way to end support for a game that has run its course. In fact, it's not really a goodbye, as the studio said their various social media platforms will still be active. However, although the news was sudden, it wasn't really unexpected. One only needs to look at the various reviews that popped up on the game's Steam page when this was announced. Some people called it empty, with others saying that it was abandoned. One reviewer even went so far as to install the game, go idle for a while, just to be able to write a review and post about the announcement of the game's end. No matter how good or bad the game was, it's still sad to see support for a game end. maybe part of a game's life cycle, but it doesn't make it any better. We can just hope for the studio's next game will be even better. Hopefully, 2, it doesn't end up with a reception. Back for Blood received. All right, Back for Blood, another game shutting down. All right, here we go. Where's the Kirby fans at? Wick, quit making smoothies, dude. Pay attention. Nick's new Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe trailer showcase showcases Magoland minigames. We're about a few short weeks away from the Switch release of Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Nintendo has today released a new trailer, Welcome to Merry Magoland, which is all about the available minigames. Let's take a look at this real quick.
Welcome, one and all, to the marvelous Merry Magoland, your out-of-this-world destination for general merrymaking. Upon arrival, you'll be greeted by none other than my friend and yours, Manager Magolore. Our benevolent benefactor oversees the park while providing fun facts from all over the world and tips to ensure you make the most of your stay. The main draw here is our sub-game-based attractions. A sub-game is a bite-sized bash that up to 4 players can enjoy. There's a bevy of attractions to behold, including 2 brand new sub-games and 8 returning favorites from past Kirby games. Have a look at Egg Catcher, a cracking good time that's hard to beat. Looking for more action? Then give Booming Blasters a try. It's a 4-player blowout that puts your character's safety and your friendships on the line. With so many sub-games to choose from, our esteemed manager is more than happy to take you on a Magoland tour, selecting 4 attractions to test your mettle. Whichever you play, we're
4-player local and 4-player online.
Absolutely sublime.
Because Dream Buffet.
Just by participating, you'll earn in-game stamps to fill out your stamp rally cards. Earn enough stamps,
Nintendo, you buttholes.
Be the lucky recipient of souvenir items and dress-up masks. You can also earn stamps each day by finding hidden Magolore stickers throughout the park. A fine deal indeed. Whether you're traveling alone or visiting the park with pals, there truly is a wonderful time to be had by all. So grab your friends, pick a mask, and warp on down to Merry Magoland. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is available February 24th, only on the Nintendo Switch system. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop.
All right. Be careful here. We'll try to see if we can figure it out, but do we own Kirby's Dreamland or Kirby's Dream Buffet? And it was promoted as a 4-player multiplayer game. It's only 2-player local. So, like, me and my wife and kids can't play the game together. Only 2 of us at a time. Even though there's, like, 6 other computer players playing against you at the same time. But you can play 4-player multiplayer online. You just can't do 4-player local, which is asinine. I don't know what their deal was with not giving you the option to have more than 2 players local play that game at a time. So we'll try to look into this and make sure everybody is aware of exactly what the multiplayer options are here for Dreamland Deluxe. The trailer, which you can find above, gives us our first proper look at Magoland, the area offering sub-game-based attractions or minigames if you wanted to use fewer words. The presence of these games was first teased back in last year's September Direct Showcase, where we got our first look at Samurai Kirby and Magolore's Tome Trackers. But today's trailer presents the world as more of a Mario Party-esque experience, yeah. The smaller minigames becoming an attraction of their own. And it looks like there will be a total of 10 different games on offer in this zone, including, as seen in the trailer, Egg Catcher and Booming Blasters. The former is pretty self-explanatory, we'd say, but for the latter, you can picture Wii plays tanks, and you won't be a million miles off, except, of course, this time it's Kirby with a gun. If you're really after party games vibes, then there is the Magoland Tour available, where 4 games are randomly selected to be played consecutively. For more information on this selection or this section of the game, be sure to check out full trailer above. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe flies onto the Switch on 24 February. Let's see this real quick. What? Okay. Interesting. So Kirby's Return to Dreamland, blah blah blah. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe looks like it has 4-player local co-op, but no online multiplayer. Weird. Okay. All right. So there you go. If you guys wanted this article, there it is. Nintendo, dude. I don't know. Insomniac's Wolverine game is reportedly targeting a mature rating. Oh, let's go. The in-development Marvel game could release as early as late 2024, it's claimed. Yeah, it's a ways away. They're not really going to be fully focused on this until Spider-Man 2 releases. But it's going to be soon. Insomniac's Wolverine game is reportedly targeting a mature rating and could release as soon as next year. That's according to Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb, who shared supposed details on the in-development project during a live stream on Thursday. Quote, hard R is what they're going for. That's one of the concepts that I've heard, Grubb said. I think a M-rated Wolverine could work. I think an M-rated superhero game could work. This is probably the right character. He later added, they will also avoid having any links or anything that evokes the Fox movies. They want it to stand on its own. I was trying to nail down the setting and have heard it will start before he joins the X-Men. Sick. Which also makes sense for a Wolverine game. Yeah. Maybe the surprising thing for me is that I've heard 2 different dates. I've heard as early as fall of next year, which would be wild. Insomniac is putting out Spider-Man 2 this fall, right? I've also heard internally, they're still very much talking about 2025, so let's not be surprised if that's what happens. Yeah, I would say don't hold your breath for next year. If it comes out next year and it feels good, awesome. But let's just plan on 2025. Insomniac produces quality content. And I would rather them just not rush it and continue to do what they've done so well. So if anyone can pull off releasing 2 major AAA massive games in back-to-back years, it is Insomniac, potentially. The Wolverine game was announced during a PlayStation Showcase event in September of 2021, as was Insomniac Spider-Man 2, at which point it claimed the title was in very, very early development. This game will be a standalone title directed by Brian Horton and Cameron Christian, who are the creative leads on Spider-Man Miles Morales. Announcing the Wolverine game, Insomniac's head of franchise strategy and studio relations, Ryan Schneider, said, in the vein of our Spider-Man games, our goal here is to not only respect the DNA of what makes the character so popular, but also look for opportunities to make it feel fresh and truly reflect the Insomniac spirit. Even though Marvel's Wolverine is very early in development, from what I've seen of its emotional narrative and cutting-edge gameplay, the team is already creating something truly special. What's up, dude?
Buys anking 1 shared X100.
Is it me you're looking for?
Cause I wonder where you are and I wonder what you do. Are you somewhere feeling lonely or is someone loving you? Tell me how to win your heart, for I haven't got a clue. But let me start by saying, I love you.
I can see it in your eyes. What's up, dude? Thanks for the cheers, Doug. What are you doing? What's up, brother? Coco, man, a gnarly Wolverine game would be so good. Oh, God, let's go. How you doing, buddy? I've got a headache, dude. I'm all stopped up today too. That's not a good sign. I'm gonna drink some sauce here in a little bit though, some Theraflu sauce, and hopefully it'll get me feeling a bit perked up. LG's latest tech could fix the biggest problem with gaming OLEDs. Brightness could shoot up all without demanding lots of more power. The secret sauce. Funny that I just said that. Secret sauce is LG's meta technology. God, are you serious, dude? I'm so sick of this flipping word. Good but tired, dude. Me too. I woke up in the middle of the night last night with a headache, and I couldn't kick it, dude. I woke up in the middle of the night with a headache, and I could not kick it. And I kept waking up all night long with it. And so I'm just like, I'm all 3-head brain fart. Dude, I can't think. I'm all foggy. But it's cool, man. We'll get through it. I'm sorry that you're tired, buddy. It's been a long time. Thanks again for the cheers, dude. It's been a long time coming, but OLED panels, I've got some pretty good clips in the Discord clip channel that I made last night. Or yesterday. Dude, I worked on so much content yesterday. It's been a long time coming, but OLED panels are now beginning to roll out inside the latest gaming monitors. You didn't know already, LG is the manufacturer of pretty much every OLED panel out there today. From the Asus ROG Swift to the Corsair Xenon Flex. And LG has big plans for the next gen, a new technology that will make OLED gaming monitors better and brighter. According to a report from Korea IT News, LG is planning to introduce its LG Meta technology into gaming monitors likely later this year. This technology is a combination of a new micro lens array and meta booster algorithm. I'm so sick of this word. According to LG, the result is an OLED screen capable of delivering 2100 nits brightness, which is, pretty darn high. Since this is an OLED panel and not a traditional panel, that's not an entire panel blasting your eyeballs to bits at 2100 nits, just 3% of it. Nevertheless, that's extremely bright. Okay. Aren't expected to create any odd-looking visual artifacts. The other benefit of these micro lenses is they'll deliver a wider viewing angle than anything on the market, 160 degrees. Interesting. Looks like these are going to be dropping at 240 hertz as well. If you want to read more here, I'll throw it in the chat for you. But that's the gist of it. That's the gist. There you go. The day before looks like The Division meets The Last of Us in new gameplay trailer. Let's watch this. Days after announcing the day before, dude, fantastic, which is the... Can you stop? I didn't say play. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. You hear me? Days after announcing the day before had been delayed on to November 23rd, developer Fantastic has released a 10-minute gameplay video highlighting what players can expect from the open-world zombie survival MMO. It is just about everything one might expect from the genre and looks to be taking inspiration from a number of popular games, including The Division, DayZ, and The Last of Us. There's crouch walking through abandoned city streets, scavenging abandoned homes for supplies, gun customization at a workbench, backpack inventory management, and the occasional run-in with the living dead. Zombies, however, don't look to pose much of a threat and are easily eliminated from a distance. For an open-world game that can feature other players to encounter and interact with, the video looks oddly lifeless and empty, with most of the footage composed of the player character simply scavenging for supplies or walking empty streets. There's been a lot of skepticism around this title from this developer. The premise around it is very enticing. It's very, promising in theory as to what this game could potentially be. But this developer really has no track record for us to go off of. We have no idea. So there have been a lot of people initially. It's been the most wishlisted game, or one of the most wishlisted games on Steam for virtually the past 2 years. But it's kind of a weird situation for a developer that we know nothing about or have no track record to go off of or anything, and there's been a lot of really weird stuff happening as of recent. It got a delay just about it was supposed to release less than a month from now on March 1st. It delayed just about, less than a week ago for some really weird stuff. So, I don't know. Let's take a look. 10 minutes of gameplay. Let's go. I'm grabbing some coffee. I'll be right back. Just know what I want for lunch? I want like 4 double cheeseburgers with a bunch of sriracha on them and bacon. Oh, that sounds so good. I don't feel good, and I just want like greasy. I want some cheese curds, dog. Some cheese curds, some onion rings. What else? What's this music? Sounds like I should be running around like a Chuck E. Cheese or something. Riding in an elevator. This is elevator music. I think I've got more of the Torment thing going on today now that I got my hair fixed up a little bit. If Kaz shows up, we're definitely gonna have to pull that Torment picture up. I'll have to give it like that crazy look going. The beard's starting to get thick, dude. I've even got it brushed down right now. Put my curlers in? No. I just I took a shower this morning, dude. I mean my hair's curly anyway. But like the other day, dude, I just like hopped out of the shower and just like shook my hair out and just let it dry. I didn't do anything. Usually I'll put just like a little bit of like some pomade in my hair and I'll like, you know, shake it through it and stuff like that. And that's why my hair will look like this. It'll look a little bit more kept, you know, it'll look a little bit nicer. But the other day when I was streaming, dude, I just didn't do it. I just like got out of the shower, just like let it dry, dude. And it was a fizzy, flippin', wild, wavy, curly mess, dude. It was all over the place. The last day that we played Hi-Fi Rush, yeah. My hair is just like naturally a little bit curly and wavy. It's not like super curly like some people's hair is, but it's just, you know, it's got a little bit of that. It just does it. What are we going to be playing today? Is that what you're asking? Shredder's Revenge, bruh. We're going to play TMNT, dude. Turtles. Yeah. Yeah, it should be a good time. Dude, I didn't even game yesterday because I've been so far behind on content. Game Pass, Doug. I picked up Game Pass just to play Hi-Fi Rush. It's the first time I ever picked up Game Pass. Just play Hi-Fi Rush, dude. I never had Game Pass, so I got Ultimate for like a month for $1. and we were talking yesterday. We were talking yesterday because after the news. Oh yeah, no. Oh really, dude? That sucks. Can you tell them no? No, it's cool, man. I figured you were busy with work. I just decided to take yesterday and work on content because because of the holidays, I got so far behind, and yesterday was huge. I'm almost totally caught up on getting all the past playthroughs and highlights taken out of my VODs. Almost. Today I should have it all done, and then I'll be working on getting all of it put up on YouTube. And then I can start just focusing on getting more fun stuff done for the community. Get text-to-speech put back in, things like that, dude. Get some more fun collages or montages put together, things like that. So that's what yesterday I didn't have anything planned, and we did the news, and I was like, dude, I'm going to take the day. But after the news and before I quit streaming, I was like, let's talk about what to play tomorrow. And we just looked at Game Pass and the schedule that we had built, and Shredder's Revenge was on both, and it was like Eclipse.gg. I have not, dude. What's that? Well, I've seen things that do that kind of stuff, Fat Pat. And none of it works the way as well as I do it. Me doing it manually. So I've seen there's a lot of other applications. Yeah, I know. For me, the way I always do my streams, and I do, like with the gaming news, and then I always do like intros and outros and segues between the different content and stuff. I've looked into using that kind of stuff, and none of them that I've come across, dude, will highlight that stuff out as well as I do it manually, dude. So I just do it myself. The thing was, I had gotten really bad about not going into my VODs every single day. So I made a New Year's resolution to make sure that I was going in. Basically, I'd gotten into this really bad, because my evenings are busy anyways with family stuff and things like that. But I'd gotten into this really bad habit of only going and grabbing my my news segment every day after the stream, highlighting it, and that was the only thing that I was getting to YouTube and highlighting for the channel every single day. And I was just like having to go back and get a lot of my content done in chunks, and it was really putting me in a bad spot. So one of my New Year's resolutions was like going in at the end of every single stream, getting all the highlights cut out that I marked, getting all of the playthrough cut out, getting all the news segment cut out, and getting all of it uploaded to YouTube all in the same day. So that way I'm always staying current, And but I had a lot of stuff from last year that I was trying to catch up on. I had a lot of time off around the holidays and everything, so I'm trying to play catch up to get myself up to where I can stay current and keep being current moving forward. And I'm almost there finally. Yeah. So I'm not a fan of the way that I do my content. I'm pretty picky about it, which is why I don't utilize the auto clipping and auto highlighting stuff, because I haven't found one that I would be happy with. But I do appreciate the recommendation, man. I really do. Latest gameplay video is the best look yet at the day before, of which little has been shown in recent years. The game was originally slated to release in 2022 before it was announced the game would be shifting to UE5. That decision saw the game delayed until March 2023. The saga has only continued from there. Fantastic recently announced the game has been delayed once again to November 10th of 2023. Initially, Fantastic said this delay was due to a trademark dispute in the US preventing the developer from releasing the game on Steam, but later stated that the delay was part of the plan. Always part of the plan. Quote, we plan to move the game's release before and plan to announce it with publisher Mytona in a 10-minute gameplay video. A Fantastic statement to IGN reads. And then you all know what happened, so to be on the safe side, to ensure there are no more transfers, we, along with the publisher, chose November 10th. That's a safe date, given the trademark dispute. Fantastic has been criticized for using unpaid volunteers to develop the day before. Company founders Eduard Gustavsev and Asen Godovsev said in a video released last year that Fantastic boasts more than 100 full-time volunteers who work remotely across the world, and that the studio also works with dozens of unpaid supporters who help with testing the game. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Multiple delays in the studio's volunteer nature had led some fans to believe the game will never see the light of day. Fantastic responded with those concerns, telling IGN that the game has been in development for over 4 years and that it is unpleasant to hear accusations the game is all smoke and mirrors. We only believe in the final product, Fantastic said. No matter what anyone says, you'll see for yourself on November 10th of this year. We hope that after the game's success, we'll give people faith in that in this life, if you persevere toward a dream, it will come true despite all the obstacles and doubts. I mean, look, dude, there's reason for people to be skeptical, though, you know. I talk about this all the time. There are usually key indicators that show a game will have some issues. You know, this game has now given us some reasons to believe that it'll probably have some, especially if it released now, it would have been probably pretty bad. Hopefully by November, it will release and it will feel good, but we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. I'm pretty skeptical about this one. Hopefully they'll surprise. I always want a game to come out and feel good, but we just know the reality of the gaming world we live in, the industry. That's just, it's not a realistic thing, dude. Games come out all the time that feel like crap, and we just have to be careful about that, right? So we'll keep track moving forward. November 10th is now the day for this. I'll say that trailer did not blow me away. So, again, the premise behind this game is intriguing. What they're promoting as the game offering, you know, is very enticing. It could be very good, but we'll just have to see what they actually end up bringing to the table, you know. Here we go. Knockout City is shutting down. Free-to-play team-based dodgeball game Knockout City is about to be, well, knocked out. According to an official post today, it's shutting down in June. We have an important announcement about the future of Knockout City. Season 9 will be our final season. All servers will be shut down on June 6th. We have more in store, so stay tuned. In the full blog post, developer and publisher Velen Studios says that Season 9 will be the final season for Knockout City, with the game shutting down on June 9th, over 2 years after the launch. This means that all servers will shut down and Knockout City won't be playable at all. Beginning February 28th, the same day that Season 9 starts, all real money transactions will be removed. However, Velen reassures that Season 9 will include copious rewards in the form of experience, style chips, and the currency holobugs. Additionally, almost every cosmetic we've ever sold will end up in one of the upcoming event sell shops, and rewards for login bonuses, league play, and other elements will be increased. A final 2-week-long event on May 23rd will conclude Knockout City's run with triple experience, massive rewards, and a community favorite playlist. In its FAQ on the shutdown, Velen did say that a private hosted server version would be released on PC, which should allow players in pre-formed groups to enjoy the game and keep it alive for posterity. However, the live version of the game will be gone. They at least did this. They at least did that, which is good. Notably, game director Jeremy Russo wrote in the same blog post a very detailed explanation for why Velan Studios is opting to shut down Knockout City, saying that it had become extremely challenging for Velan to create a large live service game with no points of comparison, noting that there were many aspects of the game that needed overhauls to become sustainable long term. Since we are a small indie studio, it's simply impossible for us to make those kinds of systematic changes in a live game while continuing to support it. So it became clear to us that we need to take a step back and pave the way for Velan to do what we do best by innovating. Now we can take everything we learned, everything that succeeded, and everything that needs improvement and get to work on exploring new possible experiences for Knockout City and other games and products we are very excited about. We're currently in the process of doing a comprehensive retrospective on every aspect of the game, all the community feedback and analytics data, and even our development processes. Our hope is that sometime in the not-too-distant future, all this information can be used to start work on what comes next in the Knockout City universe. While we can't promise that Knockout City will be back, what we can promise is that you'll continue to see new and innovative games from Velan Studios that will surprise and delight players around the world. It's been a week of live service game shutdowns, incidentally, with EA announcing Tuesday that Apex Legends Mobile and Battlefield Mobile would be sunsetting soon. Iron Galaxy almost simultaneously announcing that Rumbleverse would also be closing. Like both Rumbleverse and Apex Legends Mobile, Knockout City was critically praised, with our own reviewer calling it one of the best team-based PvP games to come out in years. Hopefully, Velan's able to bring the IP back for another round one of these days. I mean, that's all you can really ask, right? I mean, unfortunately, even with the game being good, if the player base is not there, overall, if the consensus even with the game being a fun experience, if the player base isn't there, you can't expect the developer to continue to support it. It's not cost effective. And that's what's happening to a lot of these games. We have a lot of people, a lot of friendos in the community that have played or have been a part of the Knockout City community or have played Rumbleverse, things of that nature that are shutting down, and it feels bad for them, and I get it. All you really could ask is that, like with Velan here, they are being very transparent and communicating with the community. Obviously, like we just read here in this article about upon announcing the shutdown, they're taking a beat. They're going to assess the situation, use some lessons learned here, right? Really try to take a critical look at what was done very well and what maybe needs to be better on the next game that they do, whatever it may be. So they can take aspects of what was done very, very well in Knockout City, incorporate that into whatever they do moving forward. And hopefully whatever they're able to come up with will be even better. And it will create a better, more enticing game to create a larger player base that will be able to sustain them moving forward. It's a tough industry, man. And it's a tough genre. These kinds of multiplayer Battle Royale-esque type games. It's a very polluted segment of the industry. It's a polluted genre. And it's hard to pull player base away from the bigger games, man, like Fortnite and stuff like that. So feels bad, but the sentiments they've expressed here out of this developer seem of positive note. So it seems like the glass is half full. I know it still feels bad to those people that played these games, but there's hope. There's hope. Yeah. 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 Yeah, Fat Pat. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that, man. Yeah. But there's hope there, man. There's hope there for this developer and the people that liked this game and for what will come next, man. So I know it feels bad, buddy. Sorry. This is going to talk about some more of the same stuff here, but we'll just close with this real quick. If anybody has anything else to add, let me know. We'll discuss it real quick before we move on to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. All right. Going sewer surfing, baby. 2 free-to-play Xbox games are closing down for good very soon. Rumbleverse Knockout City, man. Yeah, free-to-play Battle Royale Rumbleverse is first go on February 28th. We've hit on this over the past few days. So if you weren't aware, February 28th, the last day of February, Rumbleverse is going to be dying out, okay? If you wanted to give this game a try, you need to go do it now. You've got less than a month. You got about 3 weeks. Less than, about 3.5 weeks to try this game out before it's totally gone. Completely gone. You won't be able to play Rumbleverse at all anymore. At all. It's going to be dead, dead, dead. As opposed to Knockout City where you can still get some like private server stuff going, I think, where you'll be able to like get some people in and play the game together and stuff. But you just won't be able to do like live matchmaking things, stuff like that, I think. Knockout City won't be shutting down until June 6th, so there's more time to play this in its current state. But again, at least with Knockout City, they're going to allow people to still play the game in its final version on kind of like a private server status if people really want to keep messing around with it and stuff. So, yeah, man. Whether we, I mean, the industry's, we're in the fourth quarter right now of the fiscal year for the gaming industry. You're seeing a lot, we are seeing a lot of layoffs. There are a lot of companies that are scrapping projects that they don't feel like are worth continuing to invest in. We're seeing a lot of games that companies have decided are no longer worth keeping live. It's, you know, it's the gaming industry, the tech industry as a whole is kind of declining a bit, and a lot of companies are trying to find ways in which they can trim the fat, if you will. Yeah. So this is the current state of things. And to anybody out there that is part of the tech industry, the gaming industry, or whatever, even anything outside of that, if you're dealing with job loss, my heart and thoughts go out there to you. I wish you the best moving forward. Hopefully you'll find something soon that is even better than what you had before. Job loss is a terrible thing to struggle with. You know, worrying about monetary means and taking care of yourself and your loved ones, and the mental health struggles that come along with that, the stress, the anxiety, and everything. It's a terrible, terrible thing for people to have to deal with. So, you know, my best wishes to anybody dealing with those kinds of things, and I hope that it pans out for you very, very soon. Okay. That's the news, though, man. You guys rock, and I appreciate you very much. It was a long news segment, so sorry, but there's been a lot going on in the industry here lately, and I got a late start today too, feeling kind of crappy, a little bit under the weather, and got a late start, just thinking slow today too. so I apologize, but it was a good news segment, man. It always is, and I love doing this stuff. I love staying current with you guys. I love the input, having discussions with you guys about what's going on in the industry, so I appreciate it very much. If anybody out there is coming across any of our content, whether it be the news segments or gameplay videos or highlights or whatever, whether it be highlights here on the Twitch channel or VODs on the YouTube channel, and you're enjoying the content, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with myself, the rest of these amazing, beautiful people that are part of our community here. Whenever we go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day, start all of our streams off with video gaming news before we jump into whatever gaming content we have slated for the rest of the day, okay? Other than that, you guys just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. And we will catch everybody tomorrow for what will be February 4th's edition of Video Gaming News and Day 2 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. All right?